Welcome to an episode of Battles That Changed History. Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking and influential battles of the ancient world, the Battle of Cannae. Picture this. It's August 2nd, 216 BCE. The scorching Italian sun beats down on two massive armies facing each other across a dusty plain. On one side stand the mighty legions of Rome, nearly 80,000 strong. They're confident, well-equipped, and eager for glory. On the other, a smaller force of about 50,000 men, a mix of Carthaginians, Numidians, Gauls, and Iberians, led by a brilliant commander who's been giving Rome headaches for years. This is Hannibal Barca, and he's about to pull off one of the most incredible military maneuvers in history. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of the battle, let's rewind a bit and set the stage. We're in the middle of the Second Punic War, a brutal conflict between Rome and Carthage for control of the Mediterranean. Hannibal, the Carthaginian general, had shocked the Romans by marching an army including war elephants from Spain over the Alps and into Italy itself. For 2 years, Hannibal had been running circles around the Romans, winning battle after battle. The Roman Senate was getting desperate. They decided to raise the largest army in Roman history to crush Hannibal once and for all. Leading this massive force were two consuls, Gaius Terentius Varro and Lucius Aemilius Paulus. Now, having two commanders was pretty standard for Rome. Varro was all for aggressive action, while Paulus preferred a more cautious approach. This conflict would play right into Hannibal's hands. As the Roman army approached Cannae, a small town in southern Italy, Hannibal made his move. He positioned his troops on the plain near the Aufidus River, with his back to the sea. It looked like he was cornering himself, giving the Romans the perfect chance to destroy his army once and for all. Varro, in command that day, took the bait. He marched to the Roman army onto the plain, packing his troops into a dense formation. The plan was simple: use Rome's numerical advantage to smash through the center of Hannibal's line. The battle began with a clash of cavalry on the wings. Surprisingly, Hannibal's numerically inferior horsemen managed to drive off the Roman cavalry. This was crucial, as it left the Roman infantry exposed on both flanks. But the real magic was happening in the center. As the Roman infantry advanced, the middle of Hannibal's line began to give way. It looked like a typical outcome, the larger force pushing back the smaller one. The Romans pressed forward, sensing victory. What they didn't realize was that this was all part of Hannibal's plan. His center wasn't retreating. It was deliberately falling back in a controlled manner, forming a crescent shape. The Romans, eager to finish off their enemy, pushed deeper and deeper into this pocket. And that's when Hannibal sprung his trap. On a signal, the Carthaginian infantry on the wings suddenly wheeled inward, encircling the Roman army. At the same time, Hannibal's cavalry, having defeated their Roman counterparts, swept around and attacked the Romans from behind. In a matter of minutes, the tables had completely turned. The mighty Roman army, which had been on the verge of victory, now found itself surrounded on all sides. What followed was less a battle and more a slaughter. Packed tightly together, the Roman soldiers could barely lift their arms to defend themselves. The Carthaginians pressed in from all sides, methodically cutting down their trapped enemies. The Roman consuls tried to rally their men, but it was useless. Paulus was killed in the fighting. Varro, seeing the disaster unfold, managed to escape with a small cavalry detachment. For hours, the killing continued. By the end of the day, somewhere between 50,000 and 70,000 Romans lay dead on the field. It was a catastrophic defeat, the worst in Roman history. To put this in perspective, Imagine the entire population of a modern small city being wiped out in a single day. That's the scale of loss we're talking about here. Hannibal, on the other hand, lost only about 6,000 men, mostly his Gallic allies who had borne the brunt of the initial Roman assault. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth did Hannibal pull this off? Well, there are a few key factors that contributed to this incredible victory. First, there's Hannibal's tactical genius. The double envelopment maneuver he used at Cannae is still studied in military academies today. It required incredible coordination and timing to pull off, especially in an era without modern communication. Second, Hannibal knew his enemy. He understood the aggressive Roman mindset and used it against them. By appearing to retreat, he lured the Romans into a trap of their own making. Third, Hannibal's army was more flexible than the Roman legions. His troops were trained to fight in different styles, allowing him to adapt his tactics on the fly. The Romans, with their rigid formations, just couldn't keep up. Lastly, we can't ignore the role of Roman overconfidence. They thought their superior numbers guaranteed victory. This led them to pack their troops too densely, making them vulnerable to Hannibal's encirclement. So, what were the consequences of this massive defeat? In the short term, it was a disaster for Rome. A significant portion of their military-age male population had been wiped out in a single day. Several of Rome's allies in Italy switched sides to join Hannibal. For a moment, it looked like Rome might fall. In fact, one of Hannibal's officers, Hannibal, famously said, "Hannibal, you know how to win a victory, but not how to use it." He urged Hannibal to march on Rome immediately, believing they could take the city in the aftermath of Cannae. But Hannibal chose not to attack Rome directly. Whether this was a mistake or a wise decision is still debated by historians today. Incredibly, despite this catastrophic defeat, Rome didn't surrender. Instead, they doubled down. They raised new armies, changed their strategy to avoid pitched battles with Hannibal, and ultimately took the fight to Carthage itself. In a twist of historical irony, the Battle of Cannae, Hannibal's greatest victory, may have contributed to Rome's eventual triumph in the war. The Romans learned from their defeat, adapting their military tactics and never again allowing themselves to be outmaneuvered so dramatically. The Battle of Cannae stands as a testament to the importance of strategy and adaptability in warfare. It shows us that superior numbers don't always guarantee victory, and that sometimes the greatest defeats can lead to ultimate success. It's a battle that has fascinated military historians for over 2,000 years, and its lessons still resonate today. Whether you're a general planning a campaign or just someone facing challenges in daily life, Cannae reminds us of the power of innovative thinking and the danger of underestimating your opponent. Well, that's all for this episode of Battles That Changed History. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Battle of Cannae, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more historical content. And hey, let me know in the comments, what other ancient battles would you like to see covered in future episodes? Until next time, this is Alex, reminding you that history is not just about dates and names, it's about the stories that shape our world. Thanks for watching.